everyone, my name is Brian. In today's video we're going to be talking about a jig or fixture that will help you improve your woodworking. The jig or fixture that we're going to be talking about has been used by woodworkers for generations, and it's called a bench hook. It's going to help us cut right angles or 45-degree angles or any angles that we would like. So the goal of today's video is to demonstrate some of the primary ways that woodworkers use a bench hook and to also show you how to make one. Our bench hook only has three parts. There's a bed or a base for it, and there's also two cleats, one on the top and one on the bottom. One of the things I wanted to point out is that on this bench hook I've cut a 90-degree saw curve and also two 45-degree saw curves. You could make these at different angles if you wanted, but this just gives me a guide whenever I go to saw a 45 or 90-degree angle. The bench hook's basic design allows us to put it up against our workbench, and thus the holding of the workpiece against the fence and the sawing action with the Western back saw, which provides a force in that direction, helps hold the workpiece in place. Maybe another reason you might want to use a bench hook is that you may have a heavy workpiece here at your workbench, and you may not want to drag it all the way across the shop to your table saw or to your miter saw. So here you can just pick up your bench hook and make a quick cut, and then you would have a smaller workpiece that's easier to handle. One thing you'll notice about my current setup is that I have a long workpiece. To support this workpiece, what we do is we put our second bench hook underneath the tail end of that workpiece, and then we come back over to where we're going to do the cutting action, and we hold our workpiece up against our bench hook number one's fence and go ahead and do the cutting process. This allows us to have a supported workpiece, so then we can go ahead and make our cut. I'm now going to demonstrate two different types of cut. Here I've got a saw kerf in the middle of my cleat, and I'm going to make a cut using that. So in addition to using the saw kerf to make a cut, sometimes people like to use the edge of our cleat and just register the saw blade up against it and then make a cut as such. Another use for a bench hook is to use it as a shooting board. To use it as a shooting board, we may want to trim this edge, just take 1/1000 of an inch off, and we would align our workpiece with the edge of our bench hook, and then we would take a hand plane and move it across and just trim the edge. Here you can hear that trimming of the edge. Pros and cons of doing this is that we can trim that edge, but it relies on us having a completely flat workbench, completely square side of our plane, and face or sole of our plane. So otherwise we will not get a square cut. So I made note of telling you that your bench needs to be flat to use this as a shooting board, because my bench was built about 25 to 30 years ago, has moved around to 4 different states, and is no longer flat. Another thing people do is they joint the edge of a board. So you can joint an edge of a board by putting it up against your bench hook and then using your hand plane and moving it along the edge there, and then you can get a square edge for jointing. Now if you have a workpiece this long, then you probably also want a longer bench hook, and so sometimes people will make a bench hook that's even longer to accommodate typical workpieces that they use. Another thing woodworkers do is to use a bench hook with a Japanese saw. A Japanese saw cuts on the pull stroke, so the first recommendation there is to put the cleat in your vise. That will hold it in place, and so it will not move. And then you can put your workpiece flush up against the cleat. Here notice that when you cut on the pull stroke, this is going to counter your hand force on your workpiece. And so if you want to do better than that, simply what I would have done is I would have put my cleat on this side somewhere here in the middle, and so it could be used for either a push saw or a pull saw. Now we've talked about how you might use the bench hook. Let's talk about how you're going to make the bench hook. In the process that follows, I'm going to show just using hand tools to make this bench hook, but you could feel free to use a table saw or any other power tools that you would like to make the bench hook to help improve your hand tool woodworking. We start our build by laying out a line that's perpendicular to the edge of our board. I next use a magnetic saw guide that was made in a recent video. Here I simply register the magnetic saw guide against the edge of the board, and then I grab a Western back saw and I cut the line perpendicular to my edge. Afterwards I check whether or not the edge is square. While it's not necessary for it to be perfectly square,
I was just having some fun. I next used the width of the base for the bench hook to determine the length for each of the cleats. Here I just laid the cleats underneath the base and just marked their length. I next used the magnetic saw guide to cut the cleat to length. Here it's important that it is square, so you will see that I check whether or not it's square after finishing cutting. This is our second cleat that I need to cut that goes along the underneath side of our bench hook. Here you can see I use the same process, and I use the magnetic saw guide to make sure I get a square cut. For the bench hook that I made in this video, I did not make the cleats the same width. So here you can see I'm laying out 90 and 45 degree angles on the bench hooks so that I can see where those saw curves will be when I cut them. Your process for installing the cleats matters. Here you can see that I first anchor one side by installing a screw. I then use a combination square to make sure that my cleat remains at a 90 degree angle to my edge while I'm installing the second screw. This helps ensure that the cleat is 90 degrees to the edge of the board. I've now flipped over my bench hook and I'm working on the other side. I'm installing the cleat. Here you can see that I anchor one side and then use the combination square to make sure that I have a cleat that is square to the edge of my board again. With both cleats installed, the only thing left to do is to create saw curves at the angles we want. Here I wanted a 90 degree angle and also two 45 degree angles. So I'm using my magnetic saw guide so I can create accurate 45 and 90 degree angles relative to my cleat. I went over to the workbench to make the 45 and 90 degree angles on my other cleat. While this was in part to give you a better view of the process, turns out that I didn't do such a good job, my arm gets in the way. But I did do my best to show you what was going on, and using the magnetic saw guide I was able to cut some accurate 45 and 90 degree angles.
Thank you for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you in a future video.